Hi, everybody. I'm Jake, CEO and co-founder at Zest. And at Zest, we're building Duolingo for cooking. And we're doing it for young people like Jace. Jace is a real customer of ours. He's 25 years old, trying to balance work, a relationship, and nursing school, but he had no idea how to cook. He was ordering Chipotle on DoorDash, spending $30 per order for half the week, and microwaving Trader Joe's orange chicken for the other half. The way Jace ate dinner is by reaching into his freezer or spending his daily budget on a single meal. And knowing something had to change, Jace has used Zest to make that change. So here's how it's worked for him. When Jace first came into Zest, he took our skill assessment and was placed in a level based on his current knowledge. In his case, that was level 2, which is all about getting the basics. In level 2, Jace learns how to best operate in the kitchen. So, for example, if he wants to cook a soup, he might decide to cook our Thai curry soup. In it, he'll learn that the way that you cut your ingredients impacts the way they cook, that though it may seem intimidating, cleaning as you go makes cooking a much more manageable process. Our digestible slides, the quizzes that follow them, as well as the green in-recipe chef tips, which live within the recipes themselves, reinforce the concepts that Jace just learned and allow him to internalize them for later use. So now flash forward to today and Jace on level 6. He's learning recipes that concern the complexities of flavor. Now, if Jace wants to cook a soup, he might decide to cook our beef ramen, where he'll learn all about the science behind flavor extraction and infusion, the idea behind concentrating those flavors through reduction, the idea behind braising a meat in a flavorful liquid. Using Zest, Jace's life in the kitchen has completely changed. He's now cooking 4 times a week. He saves over $500 a month. This is how he's grown with us. And the best part is there are a ton more people in need of help, just like Jace. To date, we've grown an organic social following of over 250,000 people across TikTok and Instagram. We drive those people through our funnel into our product, which has an NPS of over 90, and we monetize those people through a subscription. Over the past 9 months, we've grown to over 17,000 MRR, over 20,000 monthly active users, and customers are loving it. With one raving, "My wife and I love this app. You're providing an essential skill that no one talks about." The first meal we made, we thought, how? We tell all of our friends. Put more simply, Zest changed my life. Now, the reason we're building the app is twofold. The first is my grandparents had cookbooks, my parents, the Food Network. But for Gen Z and trailing millennials, the generation that grew up with phones, guidance in the kitchen right now is brandless. Nothing occupies significant mind share. At the same time, this generation is heavily invested in upskilling. You have language learning through Duolingo, you have mindfulness through Headspace, but nothing quite exists yet in food. And so we're taking what's worked successfully in these other verticals and applying it to the outmoded field of cooking and from there growing up. Our first 2,000 paid subscribers came primarily from our organic reach. Our path to 10,000 subscribers involves continuing to scale that reach. Like I mentioned, we have more than 250,000 followers and a repeatable, proven formula that works both across platforms and with different creators that we plug and play. From there, our path to 100,000 subscribers involves continuing to augment the depths and directions that people can progress through Zest. Now, all this is made possible through the help of my fantastic team, who I'd be more than happy to answer any questions on during the Q&A. Thanks so much. Again, I'm Jake. This is Zest, and Zest is Duolingo for cooking.
All right. Thanks so much, Jake.
Thanks.
All right. Jay, question for Jake. Jake.
Yeah. So, too, can you talk a little bit more about kind of the organic growth and how you're going to convert that and how you grow that? And then, how do you handle or people with dietary restrictions, gluten free, etc.?
Thanks, Jake. Karen.
To build on that, I guess kind of your revenue model and pricing structure and tangential opportunities for cash to come in.
All right, great. Let's take one from Francis in the syndicate. Can you tell me about monthly churn and also CAC? Okay, that's a lot. Do your best, 2 minutes. Thanks, Jake.
Yeah, no, these are fantastic questions. So Jay, like I mentioned, we have iterated on the way that we are acquiring people organically at the top of the funnel. We've been able to plug and play different content creators and consistently have been scaling that organic presence over the course of over the past year, since before the current version of the product was actually live. Our conversion rates through those platforms are well above median for organic attribution. And so we're just going to continue leaning into that. We've plugged and played, like I mentioned, with these different creators. Now we can turn that playbook over to other content creators on these platforms and allow them to start driving attribution for us as well. Karen, fantastic question as it relates to expanding the revenues that we realize on a per user basis. We can monetize in-app grocery fulfillment, for example. We already have an early stage partnership with Instacart. We receive 5% on total cart transactions we drive through the app. Additionally, as we become a trusted resource for people to learn, share, engage with food, we can become a resource for recommending food. Lastly, We see B2E as a fantastic opportunity for expansion. Headspace has done this very successfully through Ginger Health. We've seen Origin Financial do it as well. So recognizing that as a prime opportunity. Francis, really great question. We retain well above median according to RevenueCat's state of subscription apps. Our core focus is really on activation. So 33% of our subscribers cook once with us, 74% of that group will cook a second time, 84% of that group will cook a third time, and we have above 95% all-time paid retention with people that reach that 3-time cook milestone. So really for us right now, from a product standpoint, our focus is really centered on how do we get people to activate.